Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over our trades only for today. Yesterday's trades I did trade, but it was a break even day. I only lost 44 cents, but I'm going to consider that break even. I actually forgot to record my trade on TraderView, but since it was a no trade day, I'm not going to go over it. Just I got in at the wrong time. There was lots of lessons to be learned from yesterday and today. So today's trades we're going to go over it first. So NDRA. So NDRA popped up on the scanner. It was actually already up, and the frustrating part is when it starts going up before the pre-market. And I actually never tried this on Charles Schwab, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, I confirmed it today, but you can't really trade before 4 a.m. Like it has to be after 4 a.m. or at 4 a.m. or after to trade pre-market session. I think I have to change maybe to a different setting, but anyways, this stock was already going up at 6.50, and it squeezes up from 5 to $6, and $6 to $7, $8, $9. I'm like, damn. And at $9 it's already seventh hour. Like, they always do this. I feel like they do this on purpose to capture the FOMO. That has to be the only reason. There's no other reason why. The stock was the top leading gainer on top gainer scan. It still is on the day. So I'm gonna pull up this other screen right here. Or almost. It was up a little bit higher percentage, but 140%. That was really good. That's what it was in the morning when I woke up. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, there's actually no news. This was a volumetric breakout. So it broke out because of the volume. No news. So it's a B quality setup. A quality setup would be great news. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, damn. And I already have FOMO from looking at this squeezing up so perfectly. I'm like, wow. And I was being a dummy, and I took the trade, at the FOMO level. I took a trade on here. My entry was on 840, right? And the problem with this, this was around here. Look where the MACD is. The MACD is at a negative. You should never trade when the MACD is that negative, because it's gonna keep sinking down, and it kept sinking down. And I was not disciplined today. I kept holding. I was like, no, this is gonna bounce up. You can't think like that. Today, I don't know why I wasn't disciplined. Maybe the emotion got to me. It had to be the FOMO. And I was like, well, it's a lower price stock, so even though there's some selling, as long as there's a lot of buyers, which I did see, there was some strong buying, and it did recover. So I was holding for a longer period of time than normal, and it did end up squeezing up high, but I still saw a loss. Why? Because it squeezes up here, and I think that this was the top. I think that, okay, this is the end of the move, and then I'm only looking at 10 seconds. This is why I have to look at the 1 minute chart. 10 seconds is only going to give you smaller views. 1 minute chart is going to give you a better understanding of what's going on. So around from 7:06 a.m. all the way to 7:22, it was selling off. Right here at this inflection point on the 1 minute chart, you can see right here at the bottom that it's already crossing over, so you can, if you want, you can try to anticipate that this will squeeze up, and it really did. It had 1 million shares, almost 1.5 million shares of volume within this minute, so it really squeezed. And I sold right before that. I sold at the micro pullback because I was scared and I wasn't trusting this. There's 4 green volumes, and then I have this big, not big, it's half the size of this green volume right here, this green candle, the bottom, and I was like, oh, it's gonna fail. I thought this was the top. To me, I thought this was just gonna sink and go down further and just immediately drop, but it didn't, and it had strength, and it just skyrocketed. So obviously I saw it for loss of $40, and then I'm looking at this, and I'm like, damn, I would have been up over 100. But hey, that's what I get. That's what I get for holding. Had I entered and watched this slowly, had I looked at the 1 minute chart and focused, okay, when is the best time? The best time would have been right here, around this pullback right here. Or, really, right here is already risky. It'd be better if it's already approaching the, MACD positive. And it was only up for a shorter period of time. It wasn't up for that long. So this would have been a quick, trade, about less than a minute. But that's the first trade of the day. The next trade of the day, we're going to go over here to the P&L, LSB. So as you can see, LSB and NDRA, my total gain today was actually $33. So, hey, or 34. Yeah, 33. Almost 34. But hey, we're green on the day. That's all that matters. But I don't like how I traded. We're going to go over LSB. So LSB popped up on the scanner because of private placement. So private placements are typically bullish. Someone's buying a lot of the stock for a certain amount. And the price of this was for 15 million. So 15 million is not that crazy. I mean, yeah, it's crazy to us. I mean, to retailers, yeah, I want 15 million. Shit, you already won, for an individual. But 15 million for a company is really not that big of a deal. We're looking at billions. If you're getting billions of private placement, that thing's gonna skyrocket. But I looked at this and I was like, okay, and news came out immediately. So to me, this is a quality setup. I felt like it was a quality setup. Why? Because the news was there, float was right, price was right. It could have been a little bit higher, but I was okay with the price being at this price level because remember, I still have small size. I'm preferable with more stocks that are from $1 to $4. Anything higher, I'm like a bit cautious because usually I can only take a maximum of 1 or 2 trades of that stock. But with lower price stock, I can take more size, and with more size, like obviously you can have more gain. But after that loss, I was like, okay, I gotta be careful. But as soon as I saw the news, 15 million, I was like, okay, let's ride this one out. So I punch in $200, 200 shares worth. And man, this thing squeezes immediately. I was almost up $200, almost, and squeezes down. You see this candle wick right here? This doji candle was pretty high, and I was like, oh, okay, like what's gonna happen? Like I kind of got scared. My senses were kind of right because you can see right here it started to fade after and didn't do anything. So this was a good stock to get a quick, get in, get out. There's gonna be lots of stocks like this where you just gotta get in, get out, and you gotta know when to get out. I got in for profit. I got out for profit, but I sold a little bit too soon. Had I held, maybe 30 more seconds, I would have been up over $200 easily. But I got scared. Why? Because of the swing. I saw my profit go up because the high of this candle is 239. So, and then the low of this candle is 175, and I was like, oh, what the hell? I tried selling. It was really quick. As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, this is squeezing up. I'm already hitting my target. I'm going to get out. I'm going to get out. I'm not going to hold any longer. The goal is 20 cents or more. If I'm already making more than 20 cents and if I see it substantially large, I'm going to take my profits because that, for me, is really good. That's how I've been winning. That's how June has been great for me. But, I wasn't able to get out, and that's the problem with just trading on Charles Schwab. You're not going to get the right execution. You're not going to get out the price that you always want, and, it's the risk that I'm taking. But, also at the end of the day, I really didn't have the balls to kind of look at the level 2. This is why you have to look at the level 2 data. The level 2 data will tell you because there's a lot of bids going on, a lot of buyers. And sometimes I kind of forget to look at that. I'm looking at the chart, but I need to be looking at the level 2 at the same time. I need to look at the tape, what's going on. It's hard at the heat of the moment. Yeah, at the heat of the moment, you're kind of looking at everything. You're like, what do I do? So you gotta kind of have to take a deep breath and like, okay, look at things carefully, analyze, and then, make your decision. Do I keep holding? And if I kept holding a bit longer, but I just got out of a loss, and I was already in profit. So I was like, I'm gonna take my profits. I'm not gonna, risk it because the worst thing I want to do is just sit here with my hands free, not touching the keyboard. Normally, I have my hands on the keys, on the button. Click or buy sell button and I'm ready, but I don't want to take that chance and just have this flush immediately. Like look, so after the first 2 minutes it flushed immediately from high of 252 saying all the way to $2, and man, it was a done deal. No recovery, just sold off, and just a slight recovery at the end, but nothing crazy. So those were my trades for today. So